Okay.
Greetings.
We are live. Okay, so some people coming in. That's good. Awesome.
Notification just went out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
That we were live.
Just got it.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're just going to wait for some people to come in. Don't worry, we're not doing a spin the wheel today, but I have the little light on.
Yeah, the wheel's taking a break. Maybe next week.
But it's nice and bright in this room, isn't it?
It is.
So that's good.
What's up, Chrissy?
Hey, Chrissy. And Tara, Katie Cat. Oh, they're not here yet. I think they're coming soon. Welcome, everyone, to this Sunday evening.
Happy Sunday.
Hey, Floor. I haven't seen you for a while.
Hey, Floor.
Hey, haven't seen Floor for a
What's
while.
up, there, Floor?
Mariska, hey.
There's Tara.
Okay, there's Tara. Okay, so I'm just getting my Vicky. Yay.
How you guys doing?
How are you guys doing? How are you doing?
How you doing? We're coming back to life, coming out of the fog.
Yeah.
A little more grounded. Oh, my eyes do look blurry with this raw thing we're doing.
I know, look at mine.
We're doing raw vegan.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, Karen.
A lot of benefits.
I know. We are glad we are home as well. Just a moment.
Well, you guys will hear all about it here shortly.
Okay, Pilot.
Hey, Gloria. What's up, Wayne?
You a witness to that? Look at this. You ready? Watch. See this? This is volume. Ready? Watch.
Ooh, it wants to be up. You moved itself
Hi.
like that. She moved the bar down and it goes by itself.
Yeah.
What's up, Heather? What's up, Ben? Majestic. Hi, Karen. Hi, Vicky.
Yes, it has been a while, and we are going to fill everybody in who hasn't. I don't know where you've been if you don't know what's been happening, but we will fill you in. I'm just going to bring this closer because I can't see anyone's comments. Hey, Patty, Lisa, Candy.
We are well, all things considered. We made it through.
Yes.
You know us. It's not, nothing's going to get us down.
No.
But it's very interesting, the story we have to share with how many things tried to stop us.
No, that's for sure. Every step of the way. So, hi, Lisa, Patty, Candy, Heather. Hey.
Oh, everybody's here.
All right, everyone's
awesome.
here. Thank you so much for coming in. My cosmic dog.
Hi, Michelle.
So we're in a different room because thank you, Michelle. And Gloria is Iron Blessed.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate all the prayers and light everyone's been sending. We'll get into more of that here in a minute.
Yeah.
Wait for some people to come in. Hi, Helen.
So welcome. We're walking similar journeys. We'd love to hear how you're spiritually also navigating grief. Yeah. I've been missing being here, but to be honest with you all, I just couldn't even focus on this. I knew you guys were just going to be okay until we all got back here. There's so many things going on.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Michelle and Karen. So we will explain a little bit of the things, and yes, going through the grief cycle as best we can. So, okay, Candy, thanks for coming in. We also do have some new crystals that we will be showing you guys.
Yeah, real quick, Candy, before you take off, we just got our distributor order. Auralite, guys. Auralite 23.
We have some Auralite only a little bit right now, but we've been waiting for them to come back.
So excited.
Hey, G.
Hey, G, what's up?
Karen said she's going to listen tomorrow. Well, it's really late where you are, so I didn't expect you to be up.
Yeah, thanks for popping in,
But thanks
Karen.
for popping in. Now let me. I'm trying to turn my
and
thing
again,
down.
for those leaving, thank you for all the love and support that you gave us along the way. You definitely tapped into it.
All right. So.
Yeah, Katie says, "Oh yeah, yeah. We've been waiting a long time. We finally found this guy, and we're gonna do a partnership thing with him. So
we're gonna have some stuff for you.
We'll have some stuff for you guys.
Hey, Desiree.
Yeah, next auction probably beginning of the month-ish.
Yeah.
We'll announce it. You'll know, Candy, obviously.
Yeah, we'll have the auctions back to normal in July. So everything's going to be hopefully back to normal in July. Just going to pull that down a little.
That's fine.
All right. So it helps me to be able to see. We love you guys.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Love y'all too.
Thanks for those who are coming in and who are here. Oh, Trish is here. Hi.
25.
Oh, that's really good.
Hi, Elaine.
Elaine? She's like, I missed you guys.
We know you'll be there, Candy.
Okay, Candy, take care. Thanks for coming in. So,
Take care, Candy.
Yeah, so as I said, I'm just waiting. I know that there's some people that are coming in. We look
Thanks,
great.
Gloria. I would go with zombie-ish, but yeah.
We're a little like, hello. I mean, we were in the store a couple of days ago, and we both just forgot the PIN numbers to the card. And we're like,
standing at the register, all this stuff rung up. It's like,
what is it?
What's the PIN number for this card?
And I'm like,
blank.
I don't know.
She doesn't do that. I do that occasionally. I'm more blonde than she is.
So yeah, we're just being, you know, I'm staring.
Desiree.
I was staring at a conditioner at Walmart, and I'm going, oh no, I'm looking for this particular conditioner. She goes,
She turns it around and is like, it says conditioner right on it.
I'm like, no.
And then we talked to her, and it turns out she had helped a family member through passing in her home with hospice help too. So there was the connection with the lady in the store. But there's 100 of those stories after the last couple of weeks.
We got so much to tell you guys. And yeah, Marissa, she's just lost her uncle. Just all of a sudden. And also, there are so many people that are leaving right now. So we knew this at the beginning. We knew this in 2020 even, that there was going to be a lot of people that transition very, very quickly. Yeah. And there are other reasons for that happening rather than just, you know. Ruth, okay, cool.
Yeah, see, Chrissy forgot her phone number. I mean,
So sometimes with forgetfulness also it has to do with ascension. And, you know, you're going up in those levels, up, and you're forgetting things that just really they don't really matter, right? So money's not going to really matter. You know, when you're ascending, you can manifest whatever you want instantaneously. So maybe, you know, the forgetfulness energy, that was sort of happening last year too. But you also have to make sure that all of your energy is back in your body, because that was something that...
Oh, gosh, Lisa, that's horrible.
You know?
You should have lost a friend in a shooting.
Oh, for God's sake.
Last month.
You see? Like, everybody's going through this...
Hi, Elaine.
Very shocking stuff.
Florida's in the house.
Hey, Elaine. Lisa, so sorry to hear that. I thought it was your age for getting everything.
Yeah, my niece, she has a stepson who has a different mom, and his mom just passed away too. She's been taking care of him, you know, as a stepmom. And so even, you know, it's not just older folks are leaving too. Animals as well. We'll talk a little bit about that today.
Yeah, so we're getting all this sort of stuff.
But I got some good news. Can I share it with them about
what?
Adelaide?
Oh, yeah, if you want to.
We've decided we are adding to the family. We are currently looking for a female Malamute puppy so we can breed Pilot. Because Pilot's so beautiful, and we got to get at least one litter before he gets so naughty he's forcing me to neuter him at this point. He was out the fence again today, chewed through the fence. So
yeah, he wants to go see Kathleen. She's our backyard neighbor.
Yeah,
but she's not home, and she's doing her own
like
thing. And he's in there
and
like
he loves her. And she loves him. It's really cute, but he's tearing through our fence, and lumber is very expensive right now. So trying to avoid replacing everything.
So he needs to settle down.
Yeah,
so so we're getting a new puppy, but we're just going to wait until the right one comes up.
We'll know her when we see her.
And it's got to be a little girl that hasn't been neutered, obviously. What do they call it? Spayed? I don't know.
Here, yeah.
So we just want to bring some sort of new energy into the place after all of the old and horrible energy that's been going on for the last, it was 24, 25 days.
It really was.
Of June, because on the 31st of May is when it all started. So it's been 25 days, and then, you know, my dad passed on the 24th, right? So in that entire time, you would not believe the amount of stuff that has been going on every single day. So we really want to share with you that story, because I know some people were like, oh, I didn't even know that your dad was even, and so people might not have watched the June update when I was trying to get my head around everything that was happening when I first found out everything. So
hi, Katie Cat.
Okay, Katie Cat's here. Welcome. And so some of you have also been really awesome with buying some things from Rock and Gems, etc.
Thank you.
We have some new stuff that is already up. I put some stuff on, like, for example, some of these bigger pieces. I put them up on Facebook as well. So you can use your discounts, etc. But
we got some donations. A few of you are here today. Thank you so much.
It was so helpful with petrol and just all of this, because we were running around like crazy people.
And our business is shut down. Got to remember that
everything's shut down for the
hemorrhaging money. We don't have money coming in, so we're here to get back to work. So.
It's okay.
We're provided for. And thank you for those who donated.
It's amazing what's been happening. So, awesome, Katie. Thank you. And we've really felt that. And then we're going to tell you about some incidences that it should have gone really dark really quickly. And it should have gone really south. There was a ghost incident. There was
haunted basement.
Haunted, stuff that we were dealing with at the same time, trying to clear this house.
Tried to get me, actually, not even her.
No, it wasn't. It wouldn't dare come near me. But
I almost woke you up. Help. But anyway, that's coming.
Yeah.
We can get started. There's 41 people here, it looks like.
All right. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to absolutely all of you for all of your support and help and assistance and just prayers and just not pestering and just being there. It's okay, take your time kind of messages. As someone that this is my life, and also, this is my livelihood. It's, my life. So, wanting to do things for you all the time was really hard for me to have to pull back. And also, like with my husband, we just had to focus on the task at hand, which was one step after the other, really, really difficult. And not only was it difficult in the sense that we were hearing news that my dad was, terminal, but it was difficult in all the arrangements that had to be made around that, and the emotion around that, and the, family that was affected by everything, and apartments and VAs and rehabs and nurses and doctors and neurosurgeons and oncologists, and just, constant stuff. So thank you all for being who you are and just staying constant. There were a few people that, I didn't hear from at all, like nothing at all. And it was a real surprise to me, some of those people also.
Thanks for coming, Vicky.
Thank you. So
sweet.
there was so many things that were going on. It wasn't even funny. So, oh my God.
TC, thank you. $50.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
You guys are awesome.
Guys. That's not what we're here for, but thank you. We'll accept it graciously.
Yeah, so we get to chat today, and I just want to explain to you some stuff, and also how you may be feeling if you're going through your own sort of grief cycle. And also, if you're watching someone else go through it, like with my husband, he was like watching me go through it. It was triggering his own unresolved grief, from different things in his own life as well.
Lisa.
So, oh my God, look at this, how cute that looks. Thank you, guys.
You guys are awesome.
My ears are like burning right now.
Yeah, I took care of my dad through stage 4 cancer, practically solo with hospice nurses. So it was hard for me, honestly. But I won't go too far into that.
But you made it through.
We made it through
with us.
So that's important.
Quick little history. Just a little bit of sort of history. So my father is from the United States. Okay, I was born in Australia, obviously. Lived in Australia most of all my life. My dad left and separated from my mum when I was 5 years old, and he took my older brother and made his way back to the United States. So we were suddenly separated from our dad and our older brother, while my mother slowly went insane And it's true. That's exactly what happened to her. She just sort of slowly lost herself and became a crazy lady. Anyway, that's the sort of gist of things, is sort of growing up with divorce, etc. This is what happens. You don't live with one of the other parents. It's never really been a big deal. On some level, it obviously has been, but I just kind of grew up that way, right? You just kind of get used to it. Anyway, so when I'm 13 years old, I went to the United States from Australia to live with my dad because I was in foster care in Australia. So I was taken away from my mother and thrown into foster care. And they contacted my dad and said, hey, your daughter's in a whole lot of, personal trouble and she needs you, so I had to come to the United States. When I came to the United States, I didn't even know who my dad really was. I'd seen him, obviously I hadn't seen him since I was 5. I saw him one time when I was a little bit older, but it was maybe for 6 hours, at the most. And here I was living in the United States. He had a wife who was absolutely awesome. She had grown children, and all of those are awesome as well. But my brother Nathan was in a boarding school. And it very quickly turned out that my dad was not going to have me living in the home, that I was going to have to go to a boarding school or somewhere else. And I know, Amish, it's just
he tried to put her with the Mennonites for a while.
And so he did. So I had to go and live with the Mennonites, the Hutterites, and Amish people. So you guys may know this story. I'm really keeping it short. So I was never really, I was just pushed out from everywhere. Pushed out to all of these different directions. And eventually when I was nearly 16, I'd said, look, I got to go home. I don't care. I just don't want to be here anymore because I'm just shipped out everywhere and there's all these issues and problems. And obviously I don't feel very wanted, etc. And so he took me back to Australia and left me in Adelaide by myself. So I ended up being homeless, in Adelaide. This is where my journey began. My dad just walking away and thinking he's doing the right thing and saying all the right words and, making it sound like, oh, I had no choice or whatever it was.
She watched him walk down the street with his suitcase.
I watched him.
Became homeless at that point for 2 years.
And I'm like, and stuck with a violent partner because I just grabbed onto this person thinking he's going to protect me, and instead he would turn on me, So anyway,
thank you, Vicky.
Thank you, Vicky,
and thank you, Siobhan, if you didn't catch
So this whole thing of pushing and pulling with my dad. So I'm back in Australia. He's in the United States. I'd hear from him every so often. Kept in touch, sort of just bits and pieces over the years. I had all my children. They're all growing. I'm living by myself. I'm in violent relationships. I'm, running across the country. I'm working from job to job and no dad, no help, no support. So when I moved over to the United States, obviously to be married, my dad wasn't very happy about that either. So, it was really awful because I'm just like, this guy's religious. This guy's set in his ways. This guy does his own thing. He's, very, very intelligent. He's, just whatever, right?
Thanks, Gloria.
And Gloria's there as well.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. So it was really, really strained, I guess you could say, because everything I'm doing, Devine Miracles, the last 12 years, not acknowledged. Me becoming an author, oh, well, it was just luck or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because I didn't go to university as he wanted me to, I don't know anything, not to mention the fact that he has a problem with women in general. So I'm trying not to speak.
We definitely saw that on the trip.
You guys saw it all.
About it.
Oh, my God. So my dad is, born in 1934, blah, blah, blah. So it's a different mindset. And there was different things going on that I found out now that actually changed my view a lot on why he did the things that he did. So, yeah, no support, I guess you could say. My dad would tell me he loved me and he would tell me that he was proud of me, but I didn't feel that way because everything that I said or did or achieved was downgraded all the time, I don't want to hear about it kind of thing. You know, he has no idea, or had no idea my own personality, who I am, what I would do, how I even cook, any of it, right? Just looking after my husband, looking after my kids, looking after
He was
a
amazed
home.
when he got here.
You know, he had no idea. So all that being said, I got the phone call, you know, from the hospital that, you know, my dad's had this fall, but he'll be out the next day. And I'm just like, oh my God, you know, when I have a fall and you know what happens, right? Things start to happen. And we get this call, and then the next day we get another call saying, you know, he's had scans and it's, you know, really bad. He's only got a few months to live. So you guys might know the story or remember that we decided that we were going to go down to Pennsylvania and bring him home to live out the rest of his days with us, because the alternative was that he was going to have to live in a VA barrack by himself, right? So how would that work, you know, when you're so frail? We get there, we had no idea, you know, what everything was going to be like. We had no idea. We were emotional, we were tired, we were exhausted. We had problems all the way along to Pennsylvania, when we were talking about the darkness trying to weave its way in and throw me, especially off track. We had things going wrong with the credit card, with the car company before we even got the car. And then we finally were able to get the car, and a guy called Mike puts us through. Mike, yeah, I thought about that today. Just puts us through straight away. The other people were just like, oh, no, you have to do this. And, oh, if you want us to help you. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to get over this counter in a second, you know.
It was almost an issue at Colorado Springs like, Airport.
You like this, you know, you're shaking. And they don't have any clue what you're going through. And you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so one thing after the other, we'd arrive at a hotel. Oh, they've got no rooms. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night at this stage. And you're like, come on, you know, it's like exhausting. We couldn't leave till late in the day, the first day we left, where we should have been leaving in the morning because of the car thing. Couldn't change the times, couldn't get. So everything was delayed, thrown back, thrown in our face, pulled over by the police for no reason whatsoever. And searched with drug dogs outside on the busy highway. And we're all standing there like, what in the hell is happening?
4 cops.
You know,
not one,
unnecessary, 4. Because we had Oregon plates on our hire car.
Oregon plates, and I handed him a Colorado driver's license. So he's like, out of the car.
So he's like, get out of the car. And I'm like, look, here's the rental thing, you know, like to say that we've rented this. It's not even our car. It's a rental car. It can't help what friggin' plates are on it.
We got profiled, basically.
Yeah, we were scared because of the way that things are in this country right now. You can just get carted off for anything, right? You're just looking the wrong way and you're going to get in trouble. And so where they're like, and I'm like, please, no, not now. You know what I'm saying?
It's unbelievable.
So I'm like, Archangel Michael, I really need your help right now.
Yeah.
You know, and I just saw this wing go in front of the dog right around the car so that they couldn't detect anything. There was nothing there. They were looking for guns.
No weapons, no drugs, anything that. But it was the hassle of it all. Yeah. It was being profiled because we had Oregon plates on our rental, and I have a Colorado driver's license.
And they weren't going to listen to me.
We were on the phone with hospice as he pulled us over.
The hospital, the therapy lady. She's like, we're like, oh my God, we're getting pulled over.
Call me back. Be safe.
No,
it was in Ohio. It was
in Ohio.
It was between Dayton and Columbus. I don't know the other town. It was just outside Dayton, just east of Dayton.
But it was just like this long, it was like come on. You know, when everyone says to me, oh, I don't know where the angels are because all of these things happen to me. And it's like, I knew exactly where they were and where the darkness was coming in.
They were right in the back seat next to Corey on the way there, guiding us the whole way.
Yeah.
Multiple instances of this.
Oh my God.
You know.
So many things happened. And then we finally get there. It was late at night. And we had to go into the rehab place on the next morning, like early. We had an appointment. And we got to the place, and it was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is all Amish town. So that was tripping me out.
Beautiful.
And then, so we get there, and there was this weird feeling, a beautiful home.
All remodeled.
All remodeled modern, and stuff. And we got like Airbnb, you know.
Yeah, real nice.
But there was this odd feeling. So my son Corey, he goes, "Oh my God, Mum, there's a ball at the end of the stairs downstairs here, like,
So
you know, like someone's thrown a ball." Anyway, and so Corey, my son, he wouldn't even go down the stairs. Oh, he did. He went down the stairs, but wouldn't go in the rooms that were underneath the house. And so it was, you know, it needed clearing. So on top of all this, there we are, like, okay, we're going to go down. We're going to take our sage. We're going to go down into this basement. I am telling you now.
Y'all watch Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters? One of those places, straight up. Pools of water on the floor, unfinished basement, cold, spider webs, damp.
Yeah.
This is the second night. We had enough of it the first night because we didn't sleep at all. Mm-hmm. The second night we went down and
the second
we went
night.
down and did, you know, the clearing, which I was like, we should invoice these people. We just cleared their damn house. But there was this old mirror down there with 2 old brass sconces all just rotting off the wall.
I said, get away from that mirror.
And I literally went up to it to clean it. And I did my cleaning thing. And that night I didn't sleep at all. Just goosebumps all night long. I got up at one point at 3 a.m. just to go outside and get out of the house. And when I came back in, the energy in that living room, lounge room, when I came in the door was unbelievably just not good. Just not good.
Yeah, he was terrified.
I didn't wake her. I let her sleep, but I basically called in Archangel Michael and told the thing to F off, for lack of a better way of putting it. And it did. It did. And it eased off after that. We started to sleep a little better in that house.
Yeah, because the house is strange. It's like
trying to get in while we were weak.
Yeah, so. while you're down. And that's another message for you all, is like, you know, the most thing that you have to do, you have to remind, even when you're in outer space, and I'm telling you, I've been in outer space for 25 days.
Yeah.
But even in that, I would say, you know, every morning, okay, bring all my energy back to me. Angels, you're going to have to take over because I can't be talking to you all day today. So just deal with it today. And
we had our Lemurians on the whole time.
We had our Lemurians. We had, you know, stuff in the car, like, you know, taking out selenite. And we had, you know, I had a kit ready to go. I had oils, everything for us. But we were like, you know, sleeping in a strange place as well, on all the beds along the way. You've got all the energy of hotels. It's like
you pick it up.
You can pick it up, right? And so seeing my dad the next day in the therapy place, in the rehab place, you can't even imagine the rigmarole it took to get into that place and have this on and sign in and have a patch on your thing.
I know,
and
I was
like,
waiting for a blood test.
Oh my God, like what else do you want from us just to go in and see him? And there he was, and he just looked like this little baby, which is why when I did the tribute thing for my dad, it was like a lot of old pictures, like of real young pictures, because when he was 2 years old, his own mother passed away. So this was a lot of the problem that he had with women. He thought that all women were going to leave him behind or something, right? But when I saw these old pictures, it was like, and then I saw my dad, I'm like, he's just a baby. We need to look after him, you know. He's sitting there and he's like with a walker, with the therapy. They showed us how they did the therapy with him, and a little walking frame, and he's taking his steps and learning how to navigate. And I'm like, oh my God, like it was shocking to see him in such a state, you know, being always so Mr. Perfect. And then there he was, really humbled by this whole situation.
He was.
And, you know, having to be helped to even go to the bathroom and learn how to use a walker and wear we call them nappies. You guys call them diapers. But having nappy pants on, you know. And that was something he was like, you don't put me in a nappy, I'm not going to wear one of those diaper things ever, you know. And there he was, quite happily in one. And just out of his, like, forgetting everything. Obviously, he had brain cancer, you know, so a lot of stuff was forgotten. He would always get my name wrong. He couldn't understand my son Corey's name.
Yeah.
So he had.
Corey and I were Dave, basically.
Dave.
They called us.
They called.
We went with it, you know.
And my son Corey got called
Things
Franklin.
are tough enough without, you know.
My dad's
Bobby.
like, tell Franklin. I'm like, who the hell's Franklin? He goes, your son.
And I'm sure you guys can appreciate. I'll just cut in here, but you know, we'll get to the moral of the story at the end. Is there's a lot of issues here with the history of Becky's father and Becky. There's a lot of abandonment and just, not following through and on what you're responsible for, really. So I got to give Becky credit in the middle of all of this to say how strong of a woman she is to get over all of that, to be willing to take the step to break the cycle, not just for herself, but for him, for the kids, for her ancestors even. It goes back, guys. Any of you who've done spiritual work,
Yeah.
This isn't all about right now, and right now is the same as back then. So it was a really beautiful thing to see Becky go through this and achieve it, really, and Bob, he died with his family. And he didn't expect it. He was shocked. He told us several times, boy, I really didn't think you guys were going to do this for me. He knew what he did and what he didn't do in his past. And it's a lot of healing, and it's all about forgiveness.
Yeah.
You have to achieve it. If you truly want to heal, you have to forgive. So it's been a beautiful thing, as hard as it's been, really powerful. And there were so many things on the way we're describing right now that tried to stop us at every single step. We just said no. We're not having it. Our guides were there. We were together. We're strong. Corey's the bomb. We wouldn't have been able to do any of this without Corey. He's come out of a fog, guys, that he's been in. That alone is a beautiful thing.
It was I was as shocked as my dad was with me. There's my kid, and he was a natural caregiver, really fantastic. He's always been fantastic with the elderly anyway. But seeing him and so patient with my dad, like patience of a saint, because I had to be really firm with my dad probably 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, no, listen to me, Dad, stop,
and
that
still
kind
trying
of
to control
stuff.
his medications and stuff, and not just trusting that she's taking well enough care of him.
How many tablets have I got? And I'm supposed to have a blue one at night and a this and a that. And of course, they changed all the medication when he came out of the hospital. I had to say that to him every time. No, we're going to do this. And then blood tests he had to have. And then he'd be like, oh, you're doing it all wrong. And I need to have a swab and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Dad, I can't help how the machine works. Oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, you've driven me crazy for that.
Given his past, and how strong-minded, willed, whatever you want to, stubborn, whatever you want to call it is, he really took Becky's direction when she had to stand up to him and bark back at him. If I was really firm,
he stopped. But otherwise, like for example, he woke me up at something like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and he said, "Now, come and sit down. Now, come on, come and sit down." I'm like, "Okay, Dad," and I'm like half asleep. We haven't slept for this point for like 3 weeks, and I just said, "Okay, Dad, what's the matter?" And he said, "What letter? What are you talking about? Letter?" And I'm like, "No, Dad, what's the matter?" And I said, "Can you hear me?" And he goes, "No, I can't hear you." So I'm talking loud. He goes, "Stop shouting at me." And I'm like, "Oh my God, make it stop."
We have baby monitors throughout the house that we bought for Bob Jones. And I could hear the whole thing when this was going on.
Yeah, I'm like, please listen.
Poor Becky.
I said to my husband, he's going at me, so you're going to have to listen because he didn't know, you know. So when we got these monitors, we had them in areas of the house, and my dad didn't know, so he couldn't get away with having a go at me when I was, because he'd get me on my own, right?
Yeah, he would.
He'd get me on my own. Then it's right.
We
now
had to instigate a rule that Becky is no longer allowed, for the last week of his life, that Becky's no longer allowed to be alone with Dad without backup from Corey or I.
I'm sitting there, my fingers are just like all blistered, and the little stress blisters
really
and stuff.
Went through it.
They were just coming up on my fingers, so I was okay.
Well, he was mixed up, Marianne, for sure, but you got to understand the man that Bob Jones was in his life, that this was amplified Bob Jones.
This was amplified.
Becky deserves a lot of credit keeping her cool through most of this.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, Bob did simmer down when we had to let him know, you're not the parent anymore. You're not controlling the medicine at the very least. So he was all right. You
understood the whole thing about his brain and where he was at and the pain that he must have been in. Even though he said he was feeling great, he would use my oils and he'd go straight off to sleep. All that sort of stuff. And obviously we knew there was going to be confusion and combativeness because of the brain, brain cancer.
Yeah,
but his personality was already like that. So it was very challenging to say the least, and I had to be his parent, and he had to let me do that. And that's where the struggle came in with him. He didn't want to do that, which I get. I wouldn't want someone suddenly, like my son, suddenly telling me what to do.
Right.
But the whole reason he was in the position that he was in the first place is because he didn't tell people what was really going on with him. So 3 years ago, he has pancreatic cancer.
We never heard about it.
Didn't tell me.
No.
Only that he had, problems going peeing all the time. And that was, what old people do. They go pee all the time,
Streams a little weaker.
So I was like, are you sure? Have you gone to see a Chinese doctor? Have you gone and got yourself balanced? Have you gone and done all these things? And he would tell me he had, but he hadn't, So there was all that sort of stuff going on. And it was because it's your dad as well, and it was hard, and he has male bits. And so obviously my husband and son had to do some of that horrible stuff of changing and, changing the nappy and things. That wasn't that often though, it was either just quickly take it off and pull up a new one or something.
Just remember that hotel room.
Oh my God. Don't.
You can't share that.
But like how guys have a pee jug when they're in hospital? There's my dad in the back of the rental car, standing up in the back, with his pee jug out, pulling it all out.
Oh, his pants were down around his ankles. There's no zipper for Bob. It was all down or nothing. Trowel was
all
dropped.
And sundry. Trucks are driving past, seeing this old guy standing up in the back with his pee jug. We're like.
We had a lot of laughs. It's not all misery, guys. And the moral is we're guided, but man.
We're saying to him, we're going to stop. We had to stop every hour anyway, so we couldn't wait a second. Oh no, I'm going to just help me here. My poor son. My son is in the back going like, Granddad, can you just wait till we get to the rest stop? It's just up there. Oh, no, I've got to go. And so,
that was his mind starting to go because of the tumor.
Yeah.
It's basically the size of my hand on this frontal lobe was what the neurosurgeon told us. So, yeah, there wasn't a lot of cognitive stuff going on there. He was just like, I got to go. I'm going to go.
This was not my dad, that sort of thing.
Oh,
he would never have done that sort of thing. So, let me
Thanks,
see.
Heather. Thanks, Kat.
So
yeah, Katie Cat for sure. Lots of impulsive.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still exhausted. I'm still getting sleep catched up.
So we had the hotel rooms. We had my stepmom Ginny, who has Alzheimer's. So my dad was caring for her the whole time as well when he fell. Like he's caring for this lady. He couldn't even care for himself, and he's caring for her. Her daughters came, and her son and daughters came. And they were the ones that like, oh, my God, Bob, you need to go to the hospital and we're going to look after Ginny. So she's actually staying with them now. So they're looking after her and taking turns. So she's going to also be in the family situation. Excuse me. So it was really hard, though, because I'm close to her. And
she's a sweet lady.
She's so sweet and so cute.
She's there and gone within minutes
she's gone
of each other
quickly
because of the Alzheimer's, but she's very sweet and funny.
Yeah. So she, I don't know, get this right. So she has Alzheimer's. So
I'm thinking about the restaurant.
Right, I know.
Where you going, Ma? She stands up, right? It's all her daughters, and one of her daughters was there, and Becky and I and Corey. And, Bob's there, and they're holding hands. I got really cute pictures of those two holding hands kind of under the table, Bob and his wife. And she just gets up, stands up. One of her daughters goes, where are you going, Ma? And she goes, I'm leaving. She's out the door, man.
Yeah, she was going to go, and you'd say to her, John Wayne's ugly, and she'd go,
Yeah, she had John Wayne
how could you say that? She's like, she can still remember, so we'd be teasing her, Elvis is a jerk, and she'd be like, oh. So she's still in there,
she's a sweet lady.
And she was so cute with my dad. Like she'd just be holding on to the back of his shirt and following him everywhere. And he's going, I'm going to Colorado, and she'd be like acting like it was the first time, and he's like, I just told you I'm going to Colorado.
5 minutes ago, I just told you I'm going to Colorado.
The two of them were hopeless,
It was very sweet, you know.
But like seeing my sisters, like especially one of them, Susie, and her and I were really close, and she's still Susie, yeah, and she was, you know, calling my son CJ, and like she's one of them ones that gets you to feel comfortable as soon as you meet her and you're doing stuff with her, and you're off working in the field. It's like, you know, you don't care because you're hanging out with Susie. So I hadn't seen her for like 30 years, and my dad hates her. So he was like, we gotta go. And I could see it on his face, like, you guys better hurry up now. I don't even want to be here. And so, you know, having to say goodbye and speed it all up and do all of these things too was just like, you know, exhausting in itself, right?
Bit, yeah.
So, yeah. So there's just, so the sort of thing my dad does is, or did, my sister Amy, my stepsister Amy, she's gotten a really big girl. She didn't used to be, but I mean, she was big. So my dad's talking about her in the car on the way home. And he goes, "Oh, I wrote a letter once." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "I wrote a letter to Amy once." I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Yeah, I told her she was fat." And I'm like, "You what?" He goes, "Yeah, I thought I was helping her." She never answered me, though.
I never got a return response.
I'm like, well, I wonder why. Like, oh, my God.
We're roaring in the car when he's telling us this story.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the sort of thing. Like, he wouldn't have thought that as being a bad thing.
He's trying to do her a favor.
He was trying to help, but the way that he comes across is mean. You know, it's just downright mean, right? And that's not a way to get – she's going to start eating more, you know. So Dad wouldn't see anything like that. He was treating waitresses really badly on the way home.
Yeah, he did. We had to correct him a few times.
But again, that was nothing unusual. This wasn't unusual behavior, but it was more pronounced, like less tolerance for people. Yeah. So he'd just be like, well, what about my drink? Are you going to give me a takeaway cup? And it's like, the ladies just got to our table. Or we'd be sitting at the table and he'd say, don't rush me. I'm like, we're sitting at the table.
Don't rush me.
Don't rush me. That was his
I got to do it myself.
So
you yell it too. It's like, calm down, Bob.
Yeah. So this whole thing, and then the Heimlich maneuver on the way home.
Day one,
him choking, and he just wouldn't listen. So he starts choking, and then everyone's bashing him, and he's trying to get it up, and he's behind him like, wow, nothing was happening. And a nurse bounds over, and
nothing's happening. Family restaurant full on a Sunday after church. Every table's packed. I'm picking him up out of the chair, trying to do what I can. Does anyone know the Heimlich? Please help. It's literally out of a movie. People start flying over tables and booths, and this big nurse guy comes up from behind me, picks up Bob, and literally ragdolls him. He's like, boom, boom, boom. And it was 25, 30 seconds. I mean, he was doing that, and the meat came out of his mouth. Oh, we thought we lost him that day.
Yeah. And
then we get him to the car after the EMS checked him out and everything, and he refused to go to the hospital, which is probably a good thing.
He didn't need to go, they said.
He didn't need to. But he gets in the car and he's like, boy, I thought that was it. I thought it was over. He's like, and then I heard you say you didn't know how to do the Heimlich, and I thought, here we go. Oh my God.
Oh, for
so
God's
funny.
sake.
Bob Jones did have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
God love
my
that
dad's
man.
funny, like super funny. And
here we go.
Yeah.
So that was the running joke for the rest of the trip. He'd sit back there and laugh.
Yeah. He'd be laughing. He'd be like, I don't even see what's so funny about that, you know. But he would laugh because we were laughing. Oh my God. And then we get him here, and there's a wait, and there's an issue, and there's a problem. We get him here. There's only the hospice bed didn't come that was supposed to come for him, the hospital bed. So he's on a blow-up bed, and he couldn't maneuver that well in and out of it. And then we're like, okay, he can't even get into the bathroom upstairs.
We took him to the VA to get his ribs checked. Literally, we were there for 3 hours. All they did was check him in, register him with the VA, then told us we had to go to like a 24-hour med clinic to use their x-ray machine. We're in the VA hospital, the main one here, but they close at 4, right? And then we can't get hospice started for him in our home because he doesn't have a primary care doctor. They scheduled him an appointment for July 14th.
A month later.
This man doesn't have that long to live. So we had VA issues too. And don't get me started on VA, but we ended up bypassing him. So that all worked out.
Yeah, we just went through hospice ourselves, and there was a bed. So there was a bed that ended up coming the next day. And then we had to get him out of that one to get the hospice bed to come in. And so we're sitting in a chair downstairs, eating his pineapple all crushed up, and he's eating his pineapple. He's just watching the people go.
He's sitting right next to my drum set, our bass amps, our PA system.
Yeah, he's like in the middle of it all.
I'm so out of my comfort zone right now.
So I'm just going to keep eating. And so, so we couldn't get him through the bathroom.
Walker
up here.
Didn't fit. Walker didn't fit upstairs.
No, of course not,
Only
right? So I'm
downstairs.
We're racing downstairs. Me, Corey, and Ashton.
My son Ashton was here to watch the dogs. Also, we had to fly him in from Texas.
We had to fly him in to watch the dogs and pay the guy.
Thank you, Ashton. If you see this, you're awesome, bro.
We're downstairs, and I'm like, I've got to pull everything out of my office where I do all my work, right? And so Corey's down there, and he's got tables, and he's like, race, and he's piling stuff. And I'm like, where are you putting everything? This is my office. Like, and he's like, I said, let's just move it out this way. And he goes, no, we're taking it right upstairs. We're going to into the spare room. And I'm like, oh my God, I just wanted to stop. And my dad's sitting there eating his soup at the kitchen table, like,
not a care in the world, sticking at the pine trees.
I'm really tired now. I'd really like, should I go to bed? And I'm like, I'm like, don't look at me, all right? Just don't look at me. I'm like, anyway, so we pulled everything into here and just shut the door and then got him downstairs, and the bed and everything was all fine, etc. Then we found out the idea of the baby monitors, which saved our life because it could actually.
Hey, baby monitors! If you have hospice care in your home, baby monitors are the way to go. We had a two-way too, which is sweet. So he could say something and be like, "Right down there, Bob. I'll help you out."
Yeah.
Breaker.
Right, yeah. So we're like, do you need anything, Dad? And I'm like, oh my God, we can watch a movie and not have to go down and race down.
And he wanted to be by himself for a lot of it too. He was still trying to keep that independence, and he wanted to get up to go pee, and he would let us know, I'm getting up for a pee, Becky.
So he'd let us know all night. Just going for a pee, Becky, and you wake up. Just going for a pee, Becky.
Breaker 19.
I don't care. Go pee. But then I wanted to be able to hear in case, and then that only lasts for 2 nights?
Yeah, that was very long. He went quick.
He went quick, yeah. And then the commode came and everything like that, and he had the pee jug, but it was trying to tell him, don't stand up, Dad, just sit there and, lay on your side or whatever and go.
I told him flat out he was trying. The last time he tried to get up to pee, and I went down there and I caught him, actually. And I knelt down and I put my hand on his knee, and he's like, can you help me up so I can pee? I'm like, Bob, I know it's a guy thing. I've already showed you how we pee when you're on your side in a little jug. I'll help you with that. I said, if you get up and fall, you're going to end up back in the hospital, Bob. And honestly, you're probably not going to be coming back. Yeah. Once you get into the hospital. And he heard me, and he's like, okay, that's probably a good idea. And he laid down and I helped him do the thing. And so, but then he would forget. And the next day, he'd be sitting up or trying to pull himself up. Yeah. And then I'd say something to him, like, I don't want you to stand up, Dad. And he'd be like, what do you suggest I do then? Like nasty, I'm like, okay, Dad. So, remember to go on your side. Like, and I'd be like, so you like trigger, scratch, scratching my hands. Like, I'm just calling the angels in and, take care of this, please. I'm putting the pentagram on the floor. But the thing was, it was like trying to maintain control, like my dad trying to maintain control right to the end, which is his program. I mean, I'm sure I'd be the same too. Oh no, there's nothing that bad wrong with me. And the angels said to me the night before he died, they said to me, that he's confused because the doctor said he had 2 to 4 months to live. So he's not realizing this is actually happening so much faster. So he's not giving into it. We had a few of those moments with him. We were in his apartment with him. We were in there a few times on our own while he was still in the rehab when we got there. But we were in there the one time with him, and he's trying to bring stuff. And we have a big full-size rental car. It's nice. It's comfy, all that. But we had a lot of luggage, so we didn't have a lot of room to take stuff back with. Keepsakes, pictures, his walker, all his, medical stuff that he needed. So he's clothes and all this other stuff. And he's like, well, I'm going to Colorado. Don't I need my big coats? And he's pulling out these 3 big coats. Yeah, it was sad. It was really sad. Like, I had to stop him. And I said, Bob, do you really, it doesn't get cold in Colorado until September, October. Do you really think we're going to need those coats? And there was a few times where you had to hit him with some reality, you know, just because of the situation. And we didn't have room. If I had room, dude, bring your coats. If it makes you happy, sure. We'll do with what we need to do with them later. But it was hard because there was a few moments where we had to really just kind of grab him, look him in the eye and go, Dad, you know, you don't have that much time. This isn't something that's important. You know, what's important is comfort.
You go, right. He'd go, right, you're right, you're right.
And he would, you know, yeah, he was an English teacher. So
but
very
he's thinking
smart
he was
man,
moving his whole apartment to Colorado with us at that moment. And I'm like, no, we're just grabbing your important papers, some photos, and that's it, Dad. We can get you all new things. You don't need anything.
That's what we're
you
know,
we're trying to explain. Oh, but those are my tablets, and we need to take my. No, all of those tablets are now going to be destroyed because you don't need any of them. You're on different tablets. You know. Oh my God. So, extremely exhausting.
Yeah, I don't think he did, Marianne. I don't think he really did realize how sick he was.
No.
You know? I mean, when the doctor told him 4 to 6 months, and that was, you know, before his decline, and after the Heimlich maneuver was performed on him, even the doctors agreed, yeah, that probably sped him up along with the trip. It was 3 days to get here. But, yeah, he was thinking April, probably. You know, he's thinking that's the 4th month. I'll make it till April, you know, next April.
Yeah.
And I mean, his 4 to 6 weeks prognosis went to a month, the doctor told us.
Yeah.
And then it went to a couple of weeks, if that, with the nurse, when the nurse came in and saw him.
Yeah.
And his decline.
Yeah. So
it was a blessing, though. You know, he went quick. He went quick for him, but he also went quick for us, to be honest. It was
after we broke
easy.
through. Oh, so the Wednesday before he died. So he died on Thursday this week. So just a few days ago. But Wednesday night, Bobby and Corey, they had to go to a gig.
They had a gig in Denver.
So they had a gig. So I'm like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't pass away while you guys aren't here, right? So I was just thinking it's going to be okay. I'll be fine. We're in a routine now, and I probably won't see my dad tonight because he's going to be asleep, but it will be fine. So I thought I don't know, I've just been keeping myself really busy. So I pulled everything out of my lounge room upstairs here. I started to vacuum it and vacuum. I had the monitor on my hip as I'm going around, you know, to hear my dad. And then I started to wash all the carpets with my carpet cleaner. And I swear to you that I was standing and I was sort of facing towards our front. And we have a staircase that comes up behind me. So if I'm facing the front, it's behind me. And my dad walked up those stairs. So I was startled. I'm like, how has he gotten out of bed? You know, like, this is really strange.
Scary.
And I realized it was his spirit energy coming up the stairs. And I'm like, oh, hi. And he goes, oh, hi, what are you doing? I said, oh, I'm cleaning all the floor. I'm having this conversation with him. I'm in spirit, right? I'm saying, oh, I'm just washing all the carpets because we've got people coming in and out. And, you know, I just really need to do these carpets or whatever. And he goes, oh, okay, you're always busy, he said to me. You're always busy. You're always doing something. And then I was going to answer him. And then he was sort of like gone, like from my, you know, sight kind of thing. But I knew, like, I had that sinking feeling. I'm like, oh, my God, you know, he's already out of his body. It's not long now. The boys came home and I said, we might want to stay up because I think that, you know, this is it, right? And we all went downstairs. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning by this stage. And we thought, okay, we'll just, you know, sit with him for a while. I sat on the bed. My husband sat next to me and Corey was on the other side. And I was holding my dad's hand. And I'm like, it's okay, Dad. If you want to go, we're totally fine. You've got everything taken care of. Everybody's taken care of. I've got all of your instructions. I've got all of your instructions for the next couple of years, what you want me to do. So it's all fine, right? And so we were talking to him, and of course he was not responding.
Can I tell him what he was actually doing? Katie Cat, you may know, it sounds like you've dealt with older folks in transition. He was doing this, stop breathing.
Stop breathing, yeah.
And then 15 seconds, chest would go. You could see his heart.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and he's out of it. I mean, he's out, mouth open. You know, this happened with my dad his last night too. So he was in the final breaths. But go ahead, babe, and finish it. Yeah. So he was doing the gasp, like he was almost freaked out that he was still. To me, it sounded. It was like you know, that he would go and then it would come back in and he would be like, "Oh, I'm glad I'm still here." He'd be like looking around, like, "Okay, I'm not dead yet," kind of thing, you know. But he saw me sitting there and I was holding his hand. I said, "Hi, Dad." You know, the big smile on my face. I'm like, "Hi, Dad, it's Becky." And he went, "Oh, hi. Looked right at
like I was this little baby that he was seeing for the first time. Like he must have seen my glow. I don't know. He saw me differently. and he was glowing when he was trying to get the words out. He said, "Love you, Dad," and he goes, "Love you too." Like the language was gone, right? You saw that. And then he looked at my husband and smiled, big, glistening eyes,
smile.
and my son, all of us. Then he went back to sleep. But it was that lovely last, sort of, I wanted you. It was like no bad energy had ever happened.
It was the
most
beautiful moment we had with Bob was right there. When he looked at her, I lost it.
Yeah, the way that he looked at me, it was so sweet. We're never going to forget
really awesome.
that. It made you feel like it was all worth it, like everything.
Okay.
It was okay. And
he was grateful.
Very,
very
grateful.
For her.
That's right. It was really beautiful. And we thought that night that he was going to go. So I just said to my husband, you know what? We're just going to go to sleep. We're just going to go to sleep. We're all exhausted. And
we gave him some medication to make it a little easier.
He was on comfort medication, so that was okay. We went to sleep. He was still there in the morning, and I'm like, okay. So that's okay. We've got the nurse coming today anyway, and, it's going to be okay. And he was still doing his breathing thing. He'd actually thrashed all of his covers off of him. And so he was freezing cold when we got up in the morning. It's like, oh, my God. How did he even get the energy to do that? So we've got him really comfortable. Went upstairs. The nurse called us when we were at this. We had to go to the store. So Corey was home. We raced out to the store. We're at the store, and the nurse calls and says she's coming. We're like, okay, give us like 40 minutes to get home, blah, blah, blah. So we raced in the door, and I said, I'm just going to go downstairs and make sure it's all nice and clean down there before the nurse comes and check out, what Dad's doing kind of thing. And he was still shallow breathing, that up and down sort of thing. And I said to him, Dad, it's okay, Dad. Nurse is coming, because you had to talk to him like he was a baby. The nurse is coming. I'm going to be right back with the nurse. And he, obviously just kept on breathing and doing his thing. I race upstairs. The nurse is coming in the front door as I'm coming up the stairs.
We gave her the quick rundown, like a minute and a half.
Yeah, I said, this is what we're doing. This is where we're at. This is what he's going to be like. I don't think you're going to get him in the shower. He's like, and so she goes, okay, come on, I'll meet him. We come down. We walk in the room, and he was dead.
He's gone.
He was completely gone.
Like 3 minutes, she came upstairs to let her in the house. He passed away.
So he passed away as soon as I had left the room, kind of thing. And that's what they do as well. We all know that. They don't like to. So the night before is when we got our goodbye. And we were really lucky that we went in there when we did. My son Corey is absolutely devastated because he got his granddad. He'd never really had a granddad before.
And that's one of the most beautiful things about all this too, is Corey got to spend time and get to know his granddad. They were playing chess in the back of the car.
They were playing chess.
Magnetic chess game that, the part pieces.
Corey had it all set up, in the, the middle thing that goes down so that there's a little
the console.
Yeah. And so Corey had the little chess game there, and he went with my dad everywhere and did everything with him. So it was really sweet.
Corey was down in his room while he still had his voice, probably about 4 days before he passed. And he just went down to have a conversation. So I set my phone next to the baby monitor here upstairs and recorded it for Corey.
Yeah.
And got a few videos of him helping Grandpa in and out of rest stops, and things on the trip. So
Corey went with him most times.
Yeah.
Into the restroom. We're like, you can't just let him go in by himself because he's like wobbly. Yeah. So Corey had to go in and do a lot of that stuff.
It is sweet and sad. That's a good way to put it, When I helped my dad through, and I'm sure Becky agrees with helping her Grammy through, it's the hardest but most rewarding and beautiful thing you'll ever do in your life. I mean, you have your kids and you love your kids and all that, but seeing someone transition and being there to care for them and give them all their needs and be compassionate and, especially with the past, like I said, God, no one would do it. This man had no one.
No.
He had no family, no friends. Every bridge that Bob Jones crossed in his life, he lit a match and burned it on his way out.
Yeah.
Every single one. And we've learned more since his past.
He'd be rude to people
But, it's all about forgiveness and breaking the cycle for her and her family. And that's the biggest thing we got out of it.
And, like I said to you, I learned a lot about him through, photographs and stuff. There were photographs that I had never seen before. And some of them are in the pictures of the tribute that I did. But there was this one particular one. It's a black and white picture. And he's 18 and he's going to boot camp. for the Marines, right back in 1953. And everything suddenly made sense to me, that this, I was looking at his face and he was just full of anxiety, but trying to cover it up. That's been the agitation. That's been the frustration. That's been him snapping at people and shutting off relationships before they even got started, because he didn't want to get hurt by that person leaving him. So he'd just finish it. Okay, boom, boom, boom,
He was taking people out before they could take him out.
Taking people out, yeah. And, if I'd gotten a chance to, or if he would have listened to me throughout, doing my therapy work and doing this work, and if he'd have told me about his stuff, etc., who knows where he would be right now. But it also shows you where there are choices that we make in life and choices that we make in death. And as much as something may be good for someone, it's up to them whether, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink, right? As much as you want to help someone, I say this to people all the time, I can't help you unless you're willing to help yourself by changing the habits, by changing your the way that you speak about yourself, the way that you speak about your life, the way that you see yourself. All those things need to be worked through. And that was something my dad just didn't want to, when I explained to him about psychology and spirituality and how, people who seem to have psychological problems could really actually be only being spiritually attacked, he was blown away. And he's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
He was interested in the psychology part of it.
He really was. Like, if I threw in that side of things, the science side of stuff, then he'd listen. Mm-hmm. But if you started talking about, demonic possession or ghosts or UFOs or whatever,
Catholicism, so he had a lot of fear.
It wasn't going to, it wasn't going to sit very well. And plus the fact that they would go into me being a woman, and not only a woman, but an uneducated, in his eyes, woman. And so when I saw an educated person with 2 degrees, I think he has, or more, and seeing him live in just like a, 10 by 10, if that, 10 by 10 little tiny apartment with...
His apartment was the size of our upstairs lounge room and our kitchen.
There's nothing in it.
There was nothing in it, all old stuff.
And he had nothing at the end of his life, nothing to show for it. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's not us judging. That's just, he's judged her whole life.
Right. And there he was with nothing to show for a lifetime.
A lot of healing went on.
So it's...
He was thrilled when he got here. He's like, "Oh, look at your house, 6 bedrooms, big backyard, 2 beautiful dogs." The dogs loved him too. We got to share that story with Pilot. Oh my God, Pilot. We call him Pilot Nightingale.
Pilot Nightingale. This dog, I am telling you, I have never seen in my life something so beautiful as that little guy with my dad. Now, we thought we were preparing my dad, but like, the dogs may jump on you. They may woo-woo at you. I thought...
Oh no, they're laying down.
They may try to jump on you, so we're going to be really careful when we introduce you, etc., to the dogs. But Pilot's the baby. Now, he's the one that we were worried about. I am telling you now, we put downstairs, we put like a baby gate across, and every single night he was posted up at that baby gate, like waiting for Granddad to come out of the room and go use the potty. And when he did do that, Pilot would be waiting for him and just smiling at my dad. Didn't bark. Over the fence, didn't try to jump.
Pilot thing.
Didn't cry, didn't woo at him. Woo, 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 woo. What are you doing, kind of thing. And he was amazing. Right. He was amazing with my dad.
And he said that. Bob said that. He's like, "Boy, that dog's amazing. He walks at me, he smiles, and I talk to him, and I go back to the room. He's like, I guess they know I'm leaving. I'm not long for this world."
Yeah.
And even him, Bob, with his, control mechanisms in his head, beat into his head his whole life, he saw Pilot and the spirit that Pilot had.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
And if we were in the room with my dad, we had to shut the door. Pilot would go, "Ooh, ooh," like cry.
Yeah, it was this weird cry. He's never made it before or since, but it was I must be in there. I have to be with you.
Yeah.
And he would, when we would let him in, we'd let him get on the bed quietly, and he would plop down next to Bob, and Bob would pet him, but his ribs were sore from the Heimlich maneuver. So he's like, okay, time to go outside. He was a little worried the dog would jump on him. So they were in and out real quick.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful the way Pilot was. And then at the end, after he passed, and the nurse, the helper person, really not a nurse, had cleaned him up and got him dressed. And, for when the funeral people came to pick him up, we took the boys in there. And
you don't
I can't
even
talk about it.
Yeah.
I need some tissues. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
They said goodbye to him basically, and was so sweet to him. But Pilot was trying to wake him up, like, "Oh, why aren't you talking to me?" And he was licking him on the face and that, and
his face, like, talk to me.
But then he knew, and he was going.
Yeah, he was doing that. Sad.
Like crying,
Cisco laid his head
so beautiful
on Bob's chest and was just staring at him.
Yeah.
Because he was alive, the day before.
Yep. It was.
But they know, and they helped him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they know intuitively. That's right.
It was a beautiful thing.
It really was.
When he finally went, it was just like, I don't know, we were just walking around in a daze kind of thing. I've been in a daze, but I'm coming back into me now, and just like, right, there's so many things that you have to have perspective of when something like that happens. As I said, nobody was going to take my dad in, and no one was going to care. He was going to be left alone to die. And here we came, and we did that, not because we felt that we had to or anything like that. It's just what you do. And I was amazed that people were saying, I can't believe you went and did that. I'm like, I can't believe you wouldn't, for your parents, right? Regardless of what they've done. And it's like a lot of people just go, oh, I can't deal with that, and sort of close the door. And that's really sad as well. And I had every right to do that, to my dad. He's thrown me out that many times and left me to fend for myself so many times. And I was angry with him since I was little for doing that, because obviously when he left, my mother, she went into this abusive relationship, and he ended up abusing me. And it was just like this horrible thing. And sadly, I was angry at my dad for being weak, and not standing there or staying with us or making something work or trying to. But I also understand that that's a 5-year-old thought, and I understand it as an adult that that's not always an easy thing to do. If you have someone who's unwilling to be amicable with you, it's extremely hard to stand there. And that's another thing that I did myself and break the cycle of too, is when there was a relationship bust up and the kids, etc. I always tried to maintain amicability, for my kids. I always tried to be understanding of the situation, probably a lot to my detriment, and getting walked all over, etc. But, it really made me think about the decisions that I was making and how that was going to affect my children in the long run, But you can't control someone else's behavior. You're only ever responsible for your own, right? And, my dad felt guilty for so many years, part of the anxiety, the guilt, the stress, the worry of all of that, but then still not willing, when they have you right there in your life, not willing to still change, still wanting to stay on a pedestal of being better, because that's all he had going. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's all he had to hang on to, was like, well, at least I'm educated, I'm an educated person and they're not. Who cares? But that's just, someone who was born in the 1930s, that's kind of like what they think. If you didn't have anything in the Great Depression, it was something else if you went to school and made something of yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And a little fact, okay, this is a bizarre fact, but my dad went to university with Ted Bundy.
Same
How
time.
Crazy is that? Did some philosophy classes with him, etc. But he remembered it. We were in the car, and I said,
we asked some questions to trigger his brain to try and keep him working with us. So, yeah, he remembered. He did. That was very interesting.
Yeah. So,
and then the family history, we were driving through Pennsylvania, triggering the family history. And, I mean, they knew this, but we brought it up because we were driving through the area. But Becky's family goes back to, there's a guy who's second in command under George Washington in the Revolutionary War and the French and Indian War.
Yeah.
So Becky, I mean, there's patriotic blood flowing through those veins.
Yeah. John Michael Lindenmuth And he done so many things. My son Corey was reading it out, and I'm like, wow, this guy was awesome.
We need to go back.
Yeah, he did so many things, and he suddenly died, just like all of a sudden. But he had built roads, and he built, all of these.
He's a famous guy.
He was famous. So and working very closely with George Washington and taking over battalions, and then commanding this one and this one and this one, and getting everyone together and let's go. And it was crazy. And he was in the war before that too.
Yeah, the French Indian War.
French Indian War, like before the Revolutionary War as well. And so that goes back, and I just have this thing burning. I mean, even my husband's like, God, you really are patriotic.
She really is.
It's like
one of the things I love the most about her.
Yeah. I'm like, God, so many people sacrifice themselves for this country, for this to become a United States. And, it drives me a little bit crazy to see it just all crumbling apart like we've seen, that patriotism needs to come back, the love for the country. Yeah. Yeah,
Cumberland, Maryland. That's right, Marianne. That's right. It doesn't matter. That's kind of the point we're getting to today is it's all about breaking the cycle. It doesn't matter what the person's done to you or what you love and know.
Exactly.
If you're responsible for yourself, and if you don't do it, the cycle continues. So bravo, we broke the dang cycle.
A big one.
A big one. And it goes way back.
Yeah.
Sure it does. They always do.
Yeah. And so like I said to you, then, oh my God, seeing photographs of my grandmother, his own mother that passed away when he was 2. And I'm seeing these different pictures. It's Corey. It's my son, Corey. Yeah, it's really eerie. Corey's not a girl, and I don't want him to seem like but she's got ones where she's staring in certain ways. And it's like, there's my son. So no wonder he wanted to care for my dad.
Yeah.
If that was really his mother, let's say, he wanted to be there in the beginning. He wanted to be there in the end. Maybe that's why Corey had so much compassion for my dad.
It was
it's huge.
It really was.
Yeah. So
very rich heritage too with the family.
So as bad as things were, and as stressful as things were, there were so many beautiful moments. There was so much healing. There was so much laughter. I mean, he got to know our sense of humor. He got to know us differently.
He accepted us. He accepted us as we were.
In the end, he wasn't very critical of anything anymore. He was very appreciative of everything. He became a different person himself. Maybe he needed to also heal his stubbornness, or the way that he kept this particular thing, because he was very humbled by having someone who doesn't even know changing his diapers.
I met him once, 2 or 3 years ago. We were in upstate
3 years
New York,
ago or
and
something.
Went down to see him for like 4 hours. We hung out with him. And that was it. And then suddenly I'm the guy helping him, do the business.
Yeah. So. Suddenly, my dad, when we were in one of the hotels, because that was the other thing, is taking him in and out of hotels. But we were in one, and we were coming down the hallway towards the elevators, and my husband and Corey were up ahead, just talking and yakking and, laughing or whatever. My dad actually said, "Your husband's a really good man, I'm like, "I told you." I said, "I know that." And he's like, he's really like, "I know it's a little bit hard about this whole situation, but no, he's a really good guy." And I was like, yes, that was really nice, not just for me, but for you as well.
Yeah, it was nice to hear that. Sure. Honestly, I did it for you and Corey.
Yeah.
To be honest. But Bob and I got to know each other. We definitely had some mutual ground. And he lived in gratitude with us. While he was with us, he was grateful.
Mm-hmm.
He had his little spouts of giving her crap, which is the way he's always done it with her.
Yeah.
He's just judgy judge, but he would be pulled back pretty quick on his own. He'd pull himself back. So we got to know him. We got to have some laughs, and it was beautiful the way that it all happened. And we were definitely guided, guys. You cannot deny it. So much trying to. The car was amazing. It was so comfortable. I've had 7 back surgeries. I've got rods and screws and wires up and down, and battery pack in my side.
For sure.
And
Katie Cat.
I'm always in pain on long trips. That's always how it is. We have to do constant work on me, energy, pull myself in. Nothing, no problems this trip.
It was a comfy car. It was a Kia.
It was a Kia. Were just like, we saw it. We were like, man,
we got a Kia. I mean, because Kia's,
the thing drove itself practically. It had the lane assist thing. You guys probably have cars with that. It was cool, man. It helped. It definitely helped us out a lot. So, we were guided along the way. We almost didn't get the car. As Vicky said in the beginning, things were going south at the car rental place. And suddenly this guy stepped in and took over. 5 minutes, he had it done. The right card, the right name, the right driver on the information, the right extra insurance we wanted. Because this girl was giving Becky crap. She picked the wrong girl on the wrong day to give Becky crap. Seriously. It almost went south. I almost went across the counter at that lady.
So I just want to answer Marissa's question real quickly. She says, if we're not a medium, do we have to be in a high vibration to connect with a loved one who passed? If the grief is that strong, they're there for comfort, right? Some mediums say you have to be in a high vibration. Look, Marissa, the biggest thing is that you need to remember something, and that is that your uncle who's passed away, your dad who's passed away, etc., when it first happens, you may not feel like they are there, right? So they have to go and do their healing, their learning, their growing, etc. But an aspect of who they are is they're comforting you. Do you have to get in a higher vibration? No, you have to be in a place of receiving. And I teach you guys that usually whenever we do some kind of, webinar or whatever that you might have been involved in, where we do the declaring of, connecting into the earth and into the universe, etc. But what you have to do is when you get yourself protected and you get yourself in that place and you're asking questions and you are imagining your loved one, you imagine what they're going to say to you, right? If you are in your happiest place, how are you going to respond to someone who you deeply care about? So we're not talking about the aspect of, like for my dad, for example, I'm not talking about his aspect of his earthly existence. I'm going to talk about his aspect from a heavenly existence, which is completely different. He's going to view things from a much more positive, standpoint. Although every now and then you can hear what they may say to you, like, what are you doing that for? Or why are you wearing that? Or you shouldn't be worried about that, or whatever it is. But there's a higher, vibration that they have after they've had that learning from the other side. So there's going to be a few weeks there where you feel like it's kind of hard to connect. But the angels and an aspect of who they are connecting with you. But you have to also learn to understand that as you're imagining what you think they may say to you, that is how they're going to connect with you. Every one of you is a medium. So all of this, you're not a medium, or you're not a psychic, or you're not a clairvoyant. That's a load of rubbish, because we all are. We just have to learn what we tap into and what makes it easier for us, right? So connecting with your loved one, talk to them.
Yeah, my dad's with me the whole time and has been through all this. I can hear his voice. He's right behind me every single step.
The more that you imagine what they're saying, the more they're going to say something that you have not imagined.
Right.
It's the same thing when you're working with your angels. What do you think an angel is actually saying to you? Do you think
you hear it in your heart? If you heard a voice come through your head, and my dad's voice came right now, I would be in the other room. I'd be out of this chair and up and out. So you have to listen in your heart. And I know what my dad would say. And I asked him for advice all the time on this trip. Dad, help me get through this. Help Becky through this. Help me help Corey through this. Help me help Bob through this. You're doing great, son. You've already been through it. This is part of it. Remember how I was? I could hear him, but it's because I knew what he would say with me asking those questions. Yeah, that's his voice, though. That's him. He's always with you. So everybody has it. We're all psychic.
Just don't, while you're in your grief and everything. So I had plenty of time to sort of, get through this cycle with what was going on. Like I said to you, my dad's always been a distant part of my life. So it wasn't like I was with my dad all the time and suddenly he's dying and I'm going to go through grief in that way. But it was harder because there was a distance, etc. Because there was religion versus spirituality, all of those things made a big difference to how I was able to cope with this in front of my dad, But now that he's passed, I know that he sees me sitting at the table like this, as my husband said, with all these strings of light going out, from me out to all the people in the world and, covering the world. And
finally got to see
he finally saw me from, above kind of thing, looking down like, oh, my God, that's what my daughter does. you know, and I was playing the bass guitar yesterday, and I could hear him saying, I didn't even know you could do that. It's like, well, you wouldn't have listened because it wasn't the music you wanted to hear. So I didn't even bother. You know, there's so many things that he missed out on because was too stuck in his way. But now, you know, remembering there's no longer a physical aspect of who they are. There's all the parts and pieces of who they are combined. They are in complete wholeness. So the only time they're in their physical energy is obviously here on the earth, and it's not even all of the wholeness of who they are.
Small,
get to the other side. Yeah, get to the other side, and they can see this big, huge 360 perspective they couldn't see before.
Yeah.
So that's when you're going to have the greatest connection. Now, some people say, I don't get any signs. Yes, you do. The number sequences, the feathers, the birds singing, a movie that plays on TV. It's just things that you're not thinking of.
Her brother was with us the whole trip there and back. We heard robins every single day in every single state.
In every single state.
Other than crows and buzzards, I don't know in the U.S. what bird is continuously throughout the 48 states. We went through, what was it, 12 states driving?
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Because the first trip we did, you know, we avoided tolls, trying to keep, you know, the cost down on it. The second time was like, we got Dad, we're going the fast route. You know, so we took the long way basically into West Virginia and up into Pennsylvania, and we heard robins the whole way, and we know that's Nathan. We know that's your brother. So it was beautiful.
You know,
I'm gonna go the rest.
Go for it. So, so don't ever think that you're alone either in all of this stuff. Don't think that you're alone when they pass, or that you're never going to hear from them, or it's going to be spooky, scary, or maybe they haven't gone and transitioned. Give them about 6 weeks, though, to fully be able to understand what happened on their earth, you know, in this life, all the lessons they were learning. They've got about 6 weeks of study to go through, right? So after that time, that's also a time for you to begin to heal. After that time, you're going to be able to talk more. Don't wait for a figure to be standing in front of you, or a ghost to arrive, or, you know, something really bizarre, because that would freak you out. And your angels, your guides, your loved ones don't want to freak you out, right? So, you know, when there are ghostly energies and stuff, it's only because those people have never been, you know, told that it's safe, you know, to move on. They're here, they get stuck in this energy, and they're afraid of something, or they're afraid of what's going to happen when they go to the other side completely. And, you know, it's actually quite rare. Otherwise, we would have billions and billions of ghosts everywhere, you know. So really, to have one or two every now and then is you know, it's kind of a rare thing to have a ghost that is too scared to move across. But my dad was having visions of being crucified, you know,
a couple of nights
before he died. He's like, oh, I'm being crucified, and you guys are standing there. And I'm like, oh, my God. But, you know, he was terrified of getting in trouble from God. You know, it's terrible what happens to people's, you know, fear energy, right? What?
I'm just laughing at the comments. You guys are very sweet with the comments.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, you know, so perfume, smells, etc. You know, there's so many signs around. So even for me, I think, well, where's my grandma? And then I can hear, well, you're not going to wear that, are you? And I'm like, oh, okay, there she is. You know, or Nathan just doing his, like, all of a sudden I'll get a picture of my brother doing his belly ripple thing that he used to do. Like, you'd stand there and go, I'm like, how are you even doing that? The stomach would be la, 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 la. You know, so that would come to make me laugh, you know. And people are like, oh, it's just a memory, but it's not. It's a connection.
Same with my sister too. I lost my sister several years ago. We were really close, and her memories are her. You know, it's real.
Sometimes I'll say something and he'll be like, my sister said that. You
Becky,
know,
and
it's exactly.
Peggy helped put Becky in my life. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely, Siobhan. Music. Oh my God, all the songs, etc. Birthday. J Rock's there too. Hey, J Rock. Oh, J Rock, I want you to know I have some more.
Truffle shuffle.
I have some more magenta.
That's what he was doing.
I just want to show J Rock this real quick. Look at this one, Jay. Look.
Auctions are coming back soon, guys. Maybe next week.
This is a cosmic fire Lemurian. Look at that. So I was trying to find some for you because I know you missed out on the last pendant that's like this one.
And
This one's
Orlite 23.
This one's even bigger and goldier. So how gorgeous is that? So I have a few of these for pendants. Of course, that would be a nice big one. You might want to wear that sort of lower down as well. But yeah, so many lessons, so much understanding. Of course, we're going to, be doing a lot more in July. Obviously, we just need a few more days to sort of work out. I feel like I've got a whole lot of information just sort of sitting there ready to teach you guys as well. I'm going to be going and doing more teaching and courses, etc. And the 5 days with the angels, don't worry, we are still going to do that. It's a special Facebook group, and you'll buy your ticket, and then you'll get the invitation to your to the Facebook group that you'll be able to watch the videos as often as you want, and we'll be doing it live for 5 days. And we're going to work with the angel of transitions as well, who was definitely there with my dad at the end, Azrael. So yeah, I know those pendants, right? But yeah, so teaching lessons, more live lesson formats for you guys, and lots of fun with Spin the Wheel, because we've missed it as much as you guys.
We have. We've really missed you guys with the auction stuff. It's just like we've been on autopilot for so long.
Been like,
we're really looking forward to this, and we need you guys to show up big for us as well. So we know you will.
What we'll do is we'll announce.
Thanks, J Rock.
Thanks, J Rock.
Thanks, J Rock.
We're going to announce for you guys when we're going to have the auctions. Because if you guys like tanzanites, look at this. I'm going to show you
good stuff, guys. There's more coming. We just placed an order when we got home.
So this is a tanzanite Lemurian crystal. So it's been infused with the tanzanite energy. It's gorgeous. It's a channeling one too. Beautiful blues. So we love these. What was that? Oh, that.
Those are the cut ones.
Oh, look! I've got to show you some of these ones.
To show you, just to get you jazzed about the next auction.
Look at the aqua aura. It's actually a big it's a big twin.
It's a twin.
Aqua aura Lemurian. So yeah. I know, aren't they beautiful? The tanzanite.
Well, you guys have been waiting, saving up your money. It's coming.
Wow.
Auction's coming soon.
Where's that other one? Oh, this one as well, guys. I've just got to get it open. I've got big nails.
And we're super jazzed about the Orlite 23 that we finally found a distributor. So we'll have those on. Yeah, look at that.
That one's got a little baby on it.
So cool.
So Lemurians, of course, but they've got the colors, So yeah, I've also got some stuff coming with the sterling silver. So I'm going to be able to make a lot more pendants that I'll be able to show you.
We'll definitely advertise the auction in time, Gloria. I saw your comment.
Yeah,
there.
We'll show you.
We'll give you guys plenty of time. We're going to make a big deal out of it. We want everyone to show up.
And organite, selenite, glow in the dark, pyramid busters.
These are powerful.
Okay, these are healing pyramid busters, right?
We got a couple, and I worked with them immediately after we opened the box.
So these are awesome. And so this will glow in the dark as well. So you have it, in your room or next to any electrical outlet, examples, etc. So we got a lot of stuff, bits and pieces, I guess. It was hard because we had bits and pieces coming in while we were away, and we were trying to figure out what the heck we're going to do. And all stuff that was in our downstairs area was pushed into the crystal room. So we're going to just give ourselves till the 1st of July.
Yeah, fresh start, fresh month.
Okay, fresh month, like nothing happens. And get into the teaching, etc. And also the auctions will be on Facebook and here on YouTube if you guys are interested. Now there are some people that say, or have said some little nasty comments about the auctions, but I'm just going to tell you guys, if you don't want to do the auction,
Don't
you don't have to.
Don't come. That's not
all
Becky's doing. She's not just slinging crystals online.
I'm not
now.
just
She's still giving you guys a lot. So those comments are not necessary.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter because they're probably not even here. But
that's right.
It was just almost like, oh, all you do now is sell stuff. It's like, well, where have you been? Because all I do is give stuff for nothing, like all the time. So
Mary's selling cakes so she can buy crystals.
So I can have money to buy.
Nice, Marion. I like that. I can appreciate that.
So I've been doing you guys. I've been doing this for 12 years now. And 11 years with you guys online, and I've still got so much to teach you. It's not even funny. And 95% of my work is free. So you know what I'm saying?
Cat loves her citrine wand.
Oh, yeah, awesome!
Those are nice too.
Hey, that was the only one I had of those.
Yeah, you got the last one.
Yeah, so they're a little bit different to as well. The citrine.
Thanks for that order, Katie Cat. That was nice to see that while we were, offline technically. Also, if Becky's been thinking about, I don't know if you wanted me to mention this, but I'm going to.
What?
Doing the static auction thing, like you've been
saying. Yeah.
Where we put a lot up, maybe 4 or 5 things or a few more, and we give you a starting bid, and it's just there all day, and you guys put comments in and bid, and we close out the auction several hours later, and whoever has the highest bid gets it. So
yeah,
there's no wheel and all that. Obviously, we're not there doing it, but it's another way that we're thinking about. You guys.
Yeah, I mean, crystals are a part of your spiritual path, and we wanted to get crystals that we were like, these are awesome, everybody needs one of these, and we're just sort of sharing the energy because it all needs to go together. Your oil, your mindset, your spiritual work, your crystals, they all help you, and also your food. I mean, we knew that after this trip away, it's like, I'm going to just do 21 days raw vegan, and you can do it if you want to, I said to my husband, but you don't have to. And
we've been doing it 10 days now?
Yeah, today's like 12 days.
We're down like 15 pounds.
Yeah, 10 days or something. Yeah, we just shrink every morning. We wake up and we've eaten like big things. Like I'm gonna make food. Okay, girls, let's be honest. Like I like to eat. And it's like we don't cook anything, we just make it all, raw, vegan. And every day you wake up after having a big sugary, fruity drink at night, and you're just like flattened out. All your joints are just, there's no fluid around them. There's no, like the eyes, like there's no.
It's a good idea, Katie Cat. She says share what we're eating so they can join in. We may do that. We may start a different series on, vegan and going vegan raw, even just as a cleanse for a while.
Even just transitioning yourself. Like I said to my husband,
to be honest.
I said, okay, we'll just do 21 days and just flush all this crap out that we've had to eat on our journey. Because we were just eating sides, like a side of coleslaw, a side of mashed potato, a side of fries or something. And, we just felt like we were just going, big. But you get to this point where, you just need to clear yourself out, right? So...
they're all into that.
Are you all into it?
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, guys. We never want to be pushy. We're not those kind of vegans, the ones. But it's helped both of us so much. Look at Becky. You guys all want to know how she looks so young, how she keeps her beauty. There it is. You are what you eat. And we noticed it on the trip. We were eating horribly because it was just, we had to eat something when we could. And we were staying vegetarian at the very least.
Yeah.
So, when we got home, it was like, God, look at us. Look at the pictures we took. We that's not us. That's not who we want to be.
No.
We were feeling bad, like literally physically like bloated. And she says, let's go do the raw thing. And I got to tell you, as a Texas boy, I miss my barbecue. Don't get me wrong. But I am thrilled with this vegan diet, this raw vegan. It really helps a lot.
What happens is when you have, so once a week, what we say is we're allowed to have a cheat day, right? So what that means is I can cook something. I can make something like it's not a hamburger with meat, but like a, Beyond Beef or a, Impossible burger or something. And I'll make it and make my own fries, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like once a week you can do that. You can cook something. And then when you do that, it's like even on Father's Day, I made this, for my husband, and he's like, "Oh boy, I'm so full."
Yeah.
Normally he wouldn't be full. I
feel it in my upper gut, and then we're craving the salads and the smoothies the next day, and that's
the next day went straight back into like having a juice in the morning. I'm not a green juice, like take all of the pulp out. I'm not that sort of a person. I'm going to shove all that in. I'm going to eat all of those fruits together. I'll put some kale in it, but I want banana. I want something that's sweet, right? So
yeah, we're not suffering. We're
don't
not
worry.
going without, there's
so
a lot of ways
just like a big jug of that, and then wait. Just wait, because that will fill you up. Then you'll go start doing stuff around the house, right? Or whatever you've got to do. You're on task. And then lunchtime, big bowls, big as I can imagine, of salad or some beans in it, and just using the spiralizer thing and making the cucumber and the carrots go through the spiralizer, which is beautiful. It makes a beautiful
answering
thing.
Marissa here. Actually, we believe in the blender, Marissa, because you want that fiber, you want the pulp, you need that.
Yeah.
Why just juice it all out?
I mean,
get more bang for your buck.
I understand the idea of juice is that you can put a whole ton of vegetables that you wouldn't be able to eat into liquid form and drink it. Mm-hmm. If that works for you, go for your life. For me,
Marianne, all you need to do is take a week, and just cut meat out of your diet.
Yeah, take 1 day a week.
Just eat vegetables and fruit.
I always say meat-free Monday or something. Mm-hmm. Just try to do that, because if you especially if you cut dairy out, then all your problems with pus in your body, with breathing, with your lungs, with your joints will go away.
Yeah.
And you can buy, it's called Daya, DAIYA, Daya, and it's cheese blocks and feta cheese, but it's not cheese, but it tastes the same.
Guys. It's not
American cheese, cheddar cheese, mozzarella. There's no excuse.
Good.
There's no excuse. But of course, it's up to everybody. But I see people who are getting older, and they're complaining of all the problems: cystitis, problems with their eyes, problems with diabetes, being fat, being no energy whatsoever. They eat a meal, they want to go to sleep. And I was feeling that, like this thing.
We were starting to. I'm 47. I'm not going to give you her age, but and I'm in better shape than I was in my 20s. And I used to work for Whole Foods in my 20s, so I was fairly healthy back then.
Yeah.
So, it's an amazing thing, even just for a short period,
Yeah, do a 21-day thing where you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm just going to reset my body and then see how I
have
feel.
That one cooked meal and see how that goes for you. Because for me, the pain from having a cooked meal in the top, just my digestion. It's a different kind of digestion that has to kick in. Your enzymes are different when you're raw.
Yeah.
And it's really how we're meant to eat, guys. You can do the science. Your teeth are more like a cow than a wolf.
What happens is like day after your first day. So you'll wake up the next morning and your eyes will feel bigger. Like
Bye, Chrissy. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Chrissy. Your eyes will feel bigger. You'll have energy. Your joints won't be sore. So, it depends where you're at though. So we're already a vegan, but if you're getting yourself detoxing off of meat, the first 3 days are not going to be easy. Okay. But after that, it's going to get so much easier. And I mean, just watch some documentaries. Watch eating, what is it? Sick?
Yeah, sick, fat,
and almost dying. Have a look at that.
Is that on Netflix?
It's on YouTube.
YouTube. Look for it on YouTube. It's
Australian guy. And dying. Have a look at that. Yeah. Okay. And what he does, and how he also gets truck drivers to just change their life. I mean, they're truck drivers.
Story. Amazing. Helps so many people. Y'all should just
thanks. So watching these things and just getting educated, getting creative with salads. I mean, I make all kinds of stuff with these salads and stuff. So, and sometimes just normal stuff as well, plain stuff.
Thanks, Katie Tucker.
But catch up again, need to sleep. Okay, thanks, Siobhan.
Bye, Siobhan. Thank you.
But it ends up being like, you're sort of asking yourself, where do you want to be? Because I looked at my dad at 87 years old and dying like a normal 87-year-old on a standard American diet, like suddenly developing problems in their 40s, then in their 50s, getting old looking, then in their 60s giving into how they look and starting to wear old people's clothes and, no excitement, no energy, no life, complaining about everything, tired all the time, having a problem, having a medication on this, that, and the other, getting this medication to combat that medication.
That's a big thing.
And, that's a big thing. And
we do, Katie Cat, we do seeds and nuts.
They go that way. Or, if you look at me, as for the last 15 years, I've been a vegan. I've done the raw vegan thing before as well. You guys might have seen Transition pictures I've done before, and then sadly got myself away from it from one reason or another. But it's funny because when my grandma was passing, I was doing the raw food diet. Now my dad's passing and I went back to it. But this time I'm doing it smarter. So before I was doing it and wasn't eating enough, right? I wasn't realizing I'm supposed to pig out. I'm like, fine. All right, I'm going to pig out then. Right? So different types of lettuces and spinach and all that sort of stuff, and making a big bowl because that's your food, right? Yeah. So you got to fill yourself up. Exciting. Make it fun. And eat as much fruit and vegetables as you want. And, try to stay away from bread and, try to stay away from all that stuff, right? And then you're 46 coming on like me and like a kid, right? So I could feel problems going on with my body, though. I'm not going to joke with you. This last week or two, I was like, there's problems about to begin if I don't catch on to this.
Right.
Obviously it was stress, related. Mm-hmm. And pain and grief, but there was something else behind it. Yep. So I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not in our
So, so we eat nuts and seeds, definitely. Yum. We always got nuts on hands, etc. But I'm just one day at a time, and that was our motto for this whole thing as well. Just take one day at a time. So I'm going to do this today.
And trust in your guides and call in your guides because they were there for us. It was all over the place. Every step of the way, things were trying to stop us. And the angels and our guides and loved ones were there pushing us and carrying us and moving things out of the way. And it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing how it all happened. So yeah. So Marissa said it's great to have people she knows doing it. So yeah. Right on.
I don't know how we're going to actually share with you, but I mean,
we may
I guess
talk about that after the show. If you guys are that interested, we may put a series together, and share some recipe ideas. Becky came up with this one the other day. I'll just throw it out there because it's awesome. What is it? The naan bread, the flat bread.
But that's not really raw though.
No, that's not raw. But this was our meal that we were allowed to have. Our cheat meal that we were allowed to have that was semi-cooked because it was a bread. And she put pesto on it and then just a huge Greek salad on top. And we just ate that with a knife and fork. Oh, my God. It was so good.
And then you can get the plant-based ranch dressing.
Yeah.
And, you can make your own basil pesto with pine nuts and basil and olive oil.
Oh, yeah.
And, just put your bit of, it's like a Romano cheese, but you can get the fake cheese and put that in there as well. Mix it up.
We just got some vegan feta. I'm really curious to try
vegan feta and stuff. So you can already feel your body, and you need to do this. Yeah, I'm telling you now, ladies, please, if you're struggling with all of this stuff and you've tried every diet and shake and pill, you're just gonna shrink. I'm telling you. Even within 3 days, we were like, oh my God.
This shirt, I haven't been able to wear this since I was on tour with Spinning Chain back in 2012, 2011, because it was too tight. I couldn't get the buttons. I have a big chest. But this shirt is actually a little loose on me now. And that's crazy. 10 days.
And I was wearing Levi jeans or something the other day, and I'm like.
Yeah, they're loose.
I'm like. I was like, crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you start to, because when you're bigger, you're trying to cover up that where you feel big all the time. You're trying to suck it in or cover it up or whatever. But, I could feel like I could just walk.
I have abs again. I won't show you, but my abs are coming in.
Yeah.
I haven't had abs since I was 23,
Yeah, and it's just naturally occurring because your body's going, oh, yeah, this is what we need to do. Boom. Yeah. So it just kicks off the weight. It takes out all of the water out of your body. Let me tell you, your rings are going to start just spinning around, right? And we're not even working out right now.
We've got bands and stuff. We're just getting some of this off and some de-stress a bit. So then we're going to start actually.
And you can test yourself because if you've been on the raw food for 3 days and then you go cook something, you're going to go, okay, tomorrow I'm going right back.
You'll feel it. You will feel it in your upper gut. Yeah. You really will. That's where
for sure. And
cool.
You're welcome.
You guys are awesome.
So you guys are awesome. We're getting back to ourselves a little bit. Taking each day as it comes. It's not so bad, as I said. We've sort of been grieving through this whole thing.
Yeah, we knew it was coming.
We knew it was coming. But yeah, it's just the next level now. Here we go. It hits another level. And so we will be back to our auctions and normal things for patrons. coming up in July. Thank you to all your patrons who've just been hanging in there waiting.
You guys rock.
You know,
very patient. We appreciate
very
you guys.
patient. I'm so grateful for you all. So I'm gonna be teaching you guys webinars, and we'll have channeling days. This is for patrons. Hopefully you guys will be able to make it to those things. I'll do some polls and things coming up soon. Yeah. So you can choose. And remember, patrons get 10% off everything on 2 different stores as well, which really comes in handy. And you get discounts on my courses also. I do have 2 courses available for those of you who want to just practice your own different methods of Reiki. So there'll be more of that sort of thing coming. And also the 5 days of angels. So that'll be an intensive workshop, 5 days. Every day you'll get to hang out with me.
It's gonna be good. That one's on my
really on my Facebook page. And then you'll always have access to those videos because they'll be live in that. You won't be able to share them. They're going to be in that particular. Right.
Only people who paid can add. So that's sweet, Katie Cat. Thank you, and likewise for sure. You know, everyone here, you guys are all awesome. We love you all. And anyone watching this after the fact, thank you for the support and the prayers and the light, the love you've been sending us. So we wouldn't have made it as easily probably without you. Granted, our guides are pretty awesome, but it definitely helps to have y'all support. Yeah. And those of you who donated too, several of you are in here. Thank you again so much. It did make it easier for us. Having to shut our businesses down for 2 weeks with all the cost of traveling and lodging and feeding. And Bob Jones, I will tell you this: on the
I've never seen anyone eat so much in my life.
That guy ate more food than the 3 of us combined into one person. He was famished. He's like, he didn't feed himself for the last year, and he's like, "Oh, you guys got money, and we're stopping at restaurants for 3 meals a day. I'll take this, and this."
Oh my God! Then I had to have snacks in the car.
It was great to see, though. You know, it was
I had snacks and bananas, and because he's diabetic, so there was like muffins and stuff to bring his energy straight back up. And I'm like, "Oh my God, he's got to have this, and then fruit, and then and he'll be sitting there. Oh wow, what have I got in my little bag?" I gave him a little bag. He was like a little kid. Here's your little snacks, Bobby, and we put them in. Because he's a Bobby as well, so we'd put them in the middle, you know, and he'd be there. Oh, what's in my snack box? Like a little kid. It was so cute. So, it was an amazing journey. Thanks, and thanks, Colin. Thank you all for hanging out with us today. There's actually quite a lot of people that turned up, so thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll be back soon with more. And don't forget, patrons, you're going to get sort of an outline of July coming up here pretty soon. And we're going to be back to normal with auctions and things. I've got to get busy making some of these pendants for you ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, if you saw something we flashed on the screen today, feel free to send us an email. We can talk something out.
Okay.
I can tell you the Oralite 23 did cost us a pretty penny, so these are not.
So getting back to the Oralite 23s again.
We're back to the ones, guys, that found them.
We have found some amazing ones, and there's like this one here is pretty awesome. Big red cap on it, etc. So
thanks, Desiree.
We're going to have some Oralites coming back in. So Oralites, Lemurian, Selenites, high vibration stuff. That's what you need. And you also need protective stuff. So you need your Shungites and Selenite, etc.
And G Mason, if you're in here, I don't know if you are. I haven't seen you say anything. Maybe you'll watch the replay if you aren't. But we will be getting to you in your Rumble podcast soon. We had to drop out of
Hi, Pilot, Mr. Florence.
We scheduled.
Hi, Florence.
Hi, Pilot. Here's the nurse.
Here's the nurse, Florence.
Oh, he's fixing to be Daddy Pilot here in a few months.
Nurse Florence. You were so good with Granddad.
So good with Granddad.
And you were so good with Granddad.
Come on.
Come on. Say hi. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Good boys.
Hi, you.
Oh,
we know.
Yeah. You can see everybody,
awesome.
But there they are.
There they are. Oh, Desiree, thank you. See, Desiree tipped you $20, Cisco.
Cisco's gotten a little hefty as well.
He needs his toothbrush too.
He needs a toothbrush. I'm making them a toothbrush, these dogs. Yeah. I make them a toothpaste. It's so funny.
They love it. They actually let her brush their teeth.
Yeah.
Hi, Pilot.
They let us brush their teeth because I make them. All you have to do is you just have to get some.
What? You're rousing on me.
You have to get some.
He's a giant.
You have to get some coconut oil for your dogs and a bit of peppermint oil and mix it up, and just hand them the toothbrush.
His breath is so bad.
And they will brush their own little teeth. It's so cute.
Oh, we're going to brush his teeth right after this show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like a can of sardines.
They
Ugh.
are. Yeah, I know. They're like wolfies.
All right, guys, we got to go. Thanks.
So thank you again. We'll see you guys soon.
Much love and light. Thanks for all the donations today.
This is what we're dealing with.
This is it. We're getting a new one. She's coming. We think her name's going to be Adelaide. We'll know for sure.
We'll know when we see her. I know. I
know. Nonsense.
know.
What are you doing? Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye for now.
See ya.
Looney bin. Oh, man.
Oh.